guys, Mysterious Cat Island, back with another Indie Game Sunday. Today we're going to play a simple little game about some of the effects of illness, especially chronic illnesses, mental illnesses, things like that. Robin is a very brief little game. Let's go ahead and we'll look at the credits in a minute, but, well, when we're done. It won't take long to play. But it's another resource management sort of game, but it ties into real life much more than others. It's got a really lovely little art style. I feel like it's really important because sometimes people think that people with mental illness are just lazy. Just don't want to get things done, and that's just simply not the case. And this talks about that a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started. I really love how simple but effective the art is. So all of your blood tests have come back. You really couldn't find anything. But why do I feel so tired all the time? At least we have eliminated what it could be. I suppose. Maybe it's all in my head. That's how a lot of people with mental illness think. And yeah, it's mental illness, but it's not, you're not making it up. Or maybe I'm just lazy. That's not the case either. I tell myself that all the time, but I know it's not true. Feeling defeated, Robin decides to spend the long weekend at home to try and recover some energy. This is her weekend. Okay, so this is where the resource management comes in. You only have so much energy to work with. So we have all of our energy right now, or as much energy as possible. But there are a select number of things that you can really do with that, because sometimes even simple things like showering, watering your plants take up a lot of energy for people who are struggling. Sometimes just getting out of bed requires much more energy than you would expect, than people who are neurotypical feel like. So, for example, watering our plants takes up over 1/5 of our energy. So, these are the things that we can do in a day. We've got 3 days total, and we've got to try and manage our energy appropriately to not strain ourselves too much. There are supposed to be a couple of different endings with this game. I'm going to go with the route that I know would have to be me, honestly. So, it's too early to go to bed, because that takes up all of your energy. You can read a book, make something to eat. There's no dirty dishes to do, at least today. You can take a shower, feed Robin, our bird, browse the internet, do some work, water the plants, and pick up clothes. All of those things take about the same amount of energy. So we've sort of got to manage what we do carefully. So always, for me personally, even if I'm struggling, I make sure my animals are fed. Because there are days when they are more important to me than my own life. So, another thing that's important is to make sure that you eat. I know that it can be tough sometimes. I don't know if you've ever heard of the spoon theory, where you have a certain number of spoons to work with per day, and certain tasks might take, you might have 20 spoons for a day, and, you know, cooking a meal might take 5 of those. Going to work might take 10. You're only left with 5 spoons. So, you know, it's different for everybody, though. So, after 2 tasks, our energy is almost half used. why don't we try and relax a little bit, because that's what this weekend is for, to relax and gain back some energy, and browse the internet a little while. Okay, so we really only have about enough energy for one more task before we're going to have to go to bed. See, it's still too early to sleep, so we could read a book, we could water our plants, pick up our laundry. Sometimes even something as simple as that is really difficult. I know, me personally, I'd probably do some work over anything else. That sounds awful. But even while sick, I try and record, I try and do comic work, I write, I try and do something. I work myself way too hard and don't get much accomplished in the meantime. But we don't really have energy for anything else anymore. We don't even have energy to do the dishes. But I feel like we did the important things. So let's go ahead and go to bed. And that's the end of day 1. You looked over at your unwatered plants. You shouldn't forget to tend them this weekend. The foul smell of unwashed dishes kept you awake. You'll have to do them soon. You feel filthy. You were too tired to shower, and it feels gross. Your dirty clothes are piling up. Good thing no one's visiting. You glance upon your backlog of books. Someday you'll get around to reading them. You woke up feeling even more exhausted than usual. So day 2, we already have a chunk of our energy missing. But it starts the day with us doing our dishes. So, again, I'm going to go ahead and choose to feed Robin. Because, like before, I always make sure my animals are fed, even if I don't eat. Okay, so we were complaining about feeling pretty gross, so let's take the shower. We should probably feed ourselves again. And it's like, that was 3 little tasks, and almost all of our energy is gone. We really only have enough, and we don't even have time to, or even enough energy to do the dishes again. So let's go to bed. That's the end of day 2. See how quickly that energy goes? It feels like that in real life too. And the same thing, you looked over your unwatered plants. You shouldn't forget to tend them this weekend. The foul smell of unwashed dishes kept you awake. You'll have to do them soon. You sighed. It's been a while since you did some fun navigating on social media. Your dirty clothes are piling up. Good thing no one's visiting. You glance upon your backlog of books. Someday you'll get around to reading them. It was a tiring day still. Oh, look how tired Robin looks. Gotta get up and do the dishes, but thankfully that doesn't really seem to take a chunk of our energy this time. So we've got a little more energy to work with than we had the day before. So let's go ahead and feed Robin again. It has been a while since we watered our plants, so let's go ahead and get those. Sometimes self-care is taking care of other things, like picking up your clothes and doing your dishes and making sure that you eat. So why don't we read a book? Just a little relaxation. We're going to go ahead and make something to eat. And we're already out of energy again. 3 days of a weekend and all of that time is gone. There was only so much we could do. The foul smell of unwashed dishes kept you awake. You'll have to do them soon. You sighed. It's been a while since you did some fun navigating on social media. You feel filthy. You were too tired to shower and it feels gross. Your dirty clothes are piling up. Good thing no one's visiting. You felt very guilty. You didn't do any work on your novel. And just like that, the weekend's over. Robin has managed to get through the weekend without too much strain and is happy with her productivity. She has hope for the week of work ahead. She might just be able to manage. So I think that's sort of the middle of the road ending. I don't remember if there were 2 endings or 3 endings to this. But that was, I'm assuming, the better ending. I didn't play the other endings because I know how I would manage, how I have to manage my own resources. So maybe it's important to think about how people with mental illness have to live. Sometimes it's hard, and I know a lot of people out there have these illnesses. I have these illnesses. People I love have these illnesses. So it's also important to know that we don't always know other people's lives. We might look at somebody and go, oh, they're just lazy. But the truth might be that they're struggling really hard, even though it doesn't look like they're doing very much. So, this lovely little game was made by Isabel de la Torre, Jose Fernando Garcia, Papi de Raad, I guess that's how you pronounce it. I'm so sorry if that's wrong. And Annalise Bevan. The music used. What true self feels like bogus? Let's watch Jason X. Jason X is an awful movie. I don't like horror movies. So, well, thanks for joining me for this game. If you guys want to play this too and see for yourselves really how difficult it can be to manage those resources, and just something like day-to-day life, the link is down in the description as per usual. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.